So, a while back I did the 10-minute, 1-minute, 10-second challenge and created my OC Glenda. After that, I proceeded to never use her again. So, today I decided I'm going to redo that challenge and redraw my OC Glenda in a full body pose this time instead of just doing a profile picture. I figured that with this 10-minute, 1-minute, 10-second challenge, it might be a little too easy to do a profile of just the shoulders up. So I'm going to do a full body this time and try to recreate it as much as possible, use the exact same markers and everything. The only thing that I'm going to do that is probably slightly different is I'm going to not use a mechanical pencil, because if you can see from my other drawings where I use mechanical pencil, it tends to show through in a way that I don't really like in my art, so I'm going to opt for a goldenrod color pencil instead. So I started with the 10-minute one first, as it is meant to be done, and started out drawing the pose, and at first it didn't really seem that bad. I figured I was going to get this done rather quickly, and I would have a pretty good thing to start with, a pretty good artwork that I could choose as a reference for the other two, and maybe I could do way better than I did originally. The slight problem with that was that the sketching and the line art phases took way longer than I expected. So you can see here that I was kind of debating whether or not to erase this entire thing, because I accidentally drew her too low. I was hoping to have her shoes in there, but kind of drew it so that way it would be covered by the 10-minute mark, and it didn't really work as I had hoped, so I instead decided to keep it, and I just kept going, because I only had 10 minutes. I didn't really have that much time to erase and redo the whole thing anyway. So I kept going, and the pose that I'm hoping to do is have Glenda with her hands in her pockets, just kind of showing off her jacket a bit. And you can see in the original that it had Glenda in a not jean jacket, but more like a leather jacket in a dark blue-gray. And her two-toned hair, one of her eyes covered by her hair. And also she had an earring and a gray shirt, and that was about it. The unfortunate part was I also forgot her earring in the end. I actually didn't include it because I ran out of time for all three of them. So that was kind of annoying. And you can see here I'm trying to sketch out the hair and make sure it was exactly right compared to the original. And the original also had 2 strands of hair off to the side on her left, our right. And I just did not like how that went, so I kept going over it over and over and over again. And that was probably also what this challenge is meant to do, make us not focus on those tiny details. But when you have 10 minutes, you think that it's quite a bit of time, so you think you can try and redo it, get it to a spot where you actually like it, but not really. So I realized I just had to keep going, just had to speed it along a little bit, So I moved on to the jacket, the leather jacket, and that actually didn't go that badly. That went rather smoothly. The pants was also a little bit of an issue, though, because when you're doing something from the shoulders upward, you don't need to worry about what the pants look like. So Glenda originally didn't actually have any actual pant design, so when I originally picked out the colors, I did not think about that originally, so I'm just like, you know what? Let's just have that be the same blue as her hair color. And that was just one thought solved as I was doing the line art. And I think when I originally did the line art, I had it be slightly thicker than this one. It was kind of hard to tell, because as I was doing it, I used the thickest micron, but for some reason it still didn't seem like thick enough compared to the original. And I don't know, maybe that was just me in the moment, because I was so concerned it wasn't looking like the original, and I wanted it to be like the original Glenda, because that was the whole point of the video, is for this to be like Glenda. So I tried as hard as I could in the 10 minutes that I had. And it was actually not going all that bad. I actually really liked this picture when I was doing the line art. And it seemed to be going rather smoothly, but you can notice later on that I start to get really, really shaky with the line art. And I think that was just because I was on such a time crunch that I was just like, okay, let's just get this done. Let's make it snappy. And I wasn't being as thoughtful, I guess is the proper word, that I should have with the line art. And that also went for the coloring as well. I went really out of the lines with both the line art and the coloring. And I think that can be blamed more on a time constraint, because I don't normally do that when I'm trying to draw a regular illustration. So I think I was just like realizing that I wasted so much time on the sketching. I think that took me about like 4 minutes to do both the sketching and move on to the line art. And the line art itself took like 2 to 3 minutes, so I only had about like 3 minutes to do coloring. So that was not good for me. And it actually might have been 4 minutes. But the unfortunate thing that we haven't gotten to yet, that I should have probably realized sooner, was that my iPad decided to not record the last 3 minutes. So what we're seeing is actually the first 7 minutes of the 10 minute, 1 minute, 10-second challenge. We should be seeing the first 10 minutes, but that was an issue on my part. I probably should have seen that it wasn't recording. I kept going, though, to the 10 minutes and stopped after that. But now that we're finally getting to the coloring, this is the only part of the coloring that will probably be shown, as well as my cat, who decided to leave some fur on the drawing. And I couldn't really worry about it, because that would impact my time, so I just kind of let her walk through, because there wasn't much I could do. And a lot of this time that you're seeing me off screen is me trying to actually get the markers open, because I don't know if this was me in the moment panicking, or if the markers just decided to be a jerk, but I could not open them in time. So they eventually got open, but the first one decided to be all dried out on the bullet nib side, so I had to quickly open the chisel nib and try to quickly work through that. And unfortunately, we went through all of the 7 minutes that my iPad decided to record. So I'm just quickly scratching that out and changing it to a 7, so that way it's the actual 7 minutes that you were able to see. And now we are moving on to the 1 minute challenge. And I knew that I wasn't actually going to get much done in the 1 minute, because if you could see what I did in 10 minutes, it's not that great. So I might be able to do something in a minute. Probably not going to be a great 1 minute, but it's a minute. It's definitely a minute. So here you could just see me doing a quick face, and then trying to do something that is roughly a body and a jacket. So I was just trying to do some of the line art, and hopefully it would show up. I also removed the cat fur that my cat decided to leave on the sketchbook, or at least most of it. Some of it, unfortunately, got caught in the washi tape. And quickly adding some pockets and some pants and before time ran up. And honestly, I don't think that's that bad for a minute. I mean, it could have gone way worse. And we all know that 10 seconds probably isn't going to be anything all that special, but you know what? Let's try anyway. Maybe I can do better than what I did originally. Because originally, I think I just had like 4 strands of hair. And that was about it. So, let's see if I can beat my personal record of 4 strands of hair. So, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, And hey, at least if I can't redeem myself for drawing an entire illustration and actually make it look somewhat better than the original, I can redeem myself in terms of drawing my OC and not completely forgetting about her. And I think I beat my personal best for the 10-second challenge. So I'll take that as a personal victory. And with that, I hope you all enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. And I hope you all have a magnificent day, and I will see you all later.